What's up? Well, if you follow baseball, you know there's a couple of things in baseball that are talked about. Father, son relationships. Your father was a great player. You were a great player to come behind your father. You got the Griffeys, this is about passing on. And in baseball, it's like the passing of the torch. Oh, they eat that up. Now, Prince Fielder, when he played for the Detroit Tigers, he was the big slugging first baseman that was knocking out like 50 home runs and smashing and killing the ball, and they loved it. He was a regular Babe Ruth. And he married like the Miss Detroit, who he saw in a beauty pageant. She won like Miss Michigan or Miss Detroit or something. Stacey August. And they were the most famed black couple, black couple that's like don't exist no more. But black couple that was like everywhere. They was on like People's Magazine. They was the lovable couple. And they had their two children, Prince and I forgot his sister's name. And little Prince Fielder, everybody thought he was going to go primarily to like football or something, because he was big from day one. He was a whopper. And then he just continuously started to grow and love the game of baseball. Started playing baseball, but unlike his father, he was more athletic than Cecil. So while he's going around doing what he's doing, his parents, they were at a point in junction in the career where there's a lot of bumps in the road, and he started to see a lot of fights in the house, and his father not being there. And Big Cecil, spent a lot of his time gambling in the off season. Lost a lot of his money, and when Prince Fielder went to Milwaukee, and he was there with him in Milwaukee, when he went to the baseball, the major leagues, he took a lot of his signing money and didn't tell Prince, and Prince was a little, he was a little upset about that. So they didn't speak for a couple of years, and then one Christmas holiday he called him, and things started to mend back together, his father and son, because no matter what, the respect is always going to be there with father and son. So Prince decided to bring his girlfriend from high school, this girl he dated named Chanel. He brought her, and it was like heaven for him because this was exactly where he wanted to be. He wanted to be nowhere else. He got a wife. He's happy. He's playing baseball, and everything's going pretty good. And then he signs a $200 million deal to go play where his father played in Detroit after the years he had in Milwaukee. So everybody's excited now because they have pulled off a deal of all deals to get Prince Fielder. And everyone's thinking championships, and basically everyone's excited. So here we are, caught in a scenario where what could happen or what could go wrong, what would be next? in this scenario. So one guy makes the team, this Avilsail Garcia. And Garcia was a decent player. He had a good background. He's good at getting hits, run, but he's part of the youth that you're developing to be great one day. He's raw talent, but he has the capability to being even better. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to blame. Normally, we always blame the wife in this situation. And everyone seemed to gravitate and do that. But that's not fair to the situation and the people who was in the know at the time. Prince Fielder was not always the guy, the happy guy that you see at home. If he's having a bad game or he's in a bad mood because they lost, he would sometimes take that home and that attitude home. And it would affect the entire house. Now, allegedly, his wife had an affair with this Avilsail Garcia. And it had been going on for a while. And Prince Fielder found out because he did some investigating of his own and found out. It started from conversations, meeting each other, befriending someone to get close to the wife, basically. And he was the comfort, and they would text each other and talk and do text, like normal people do. And the situation wasn't looking good. And they never could go out anywhere. So the rest of the stuff we got to leave off the table out of respect to the Fielder family. Let's just say there was possibility of an affair. Now that this didn't happen, and when Prince finds out, he's livid, so obviously he's going in there and he's mad at her and was like, you know what you've done? Do you know what you just done? You just know what you just done. You just disgraced our entire family. And that was it. He was, that's it, we're through. We're through. So immediately he's calling his lawyers. He wants to get a divorce. He wants everything ended immediately after he made her confess to what she was doing. Now it's time to deal with the in-house problem. The in-house problem was he still got to play with this Garcia guy. So he called Coach, told Coach what happened. And what happened was, this incident happened, Fielder wasn't even in the equation. There was a locker room fight with Garcia and Miguel Cabrera, the superstar player from Detroit, who was already coming back from an injury once he found out what had happened. Like, you dirty mother, like he was mad at Garcia because Garcia and him were cool. And he always vouched for Garcia, and for Garcia to do this to the team when they trying to go for a championship, and you would do this to a teammate, it was problems. So Garcia's young, he doesn't know really what's going on. He's just like, whatever, he's ready to fight. So him and Cabrera is getting into a fight, and Cabrera ended up getting hurt again. Like, all the pushing and shoving, I think he re-injured himself in the locker room. So now Cabrera's out, and Garcia, he got to go. Like, effective immediately. Coach told him, like, look, this is not going to be good with you and Prince. So we got to move one of you two. And we like Prince, so we're going to keep him. You know how this is. You created this situation. Because this is something we don't tolerate here in Detroit. And he said, I understand. All right, what can you do for me? And he was traded to the Chicago White Sox. Immediately traded to the Chicago White Sox. So there wasn't a meeting where Prince Fielder came in there and met Avilsail Garcia. Before Prince came back into that dugout, he was gone. He was a Chicago White Sox within 24 hours. He was in Chicago on the first thing smoking. But now you got a situation where what's going on with the wife? He's going through a divorce. He's filing for a divorce. It's just not looking good. And when it gets to a situation like that, one or two things gotta happen. Somebody's gotta leave or whatever. So Prince Fielder played like crap. And for Prince Fielder to play like crap, that wasn't normal. And people were kind of wondering, like, what is going on today? Like, what is this? And slowly they began to realize Prince was still under the effects of what was going on with his wife, and because now they're still together. He filed for divorce, and now they trying to work it out at home, and it's just too much going on at the time. So Detroit said to themselves after the playoff series, is like, he doesn't want to be here. He's just got to go. He needs a fresh start. So they traded him to Texas. It's not what Prince was looking for. He was just like, wanted to get back. He had a terrible season, and mentally he was affected by all of this, and the family, needed a healthy start. So Texas seemed like the best fit for him. So they worked it out, and everybody lived happily ever after. I'm not saying the wife didn't make a mistake, and I'm not saying it's all Prince Fielder's fault. I think it's a collaboration of both. When you get married young, you don't know exactly what you're doing, and you living in a world you yet to understand. People forget communication is key. And when you don't have communication and you neglect these type of things, and people can creep into your life and alter it. So, hope this information is useful to let everybody know that you can forgive your wife, and there's a such thing as reconciling and forgiving and moving on. So, I'm out.